Well, it seems that a lot of things go on when you have a incident, whether it's AI generated, uh, a hoax, fake news, the real thing, whatever the case may be. Whenever there's some sort of story that goes on, there's a lot of counter stories that come out. So we got kind of a field news night tonight. Three stories. Uh, one is the update with this Outcast thing, and one of the latest rumors that are on the street. And we'll take a look at that and kind of try to see it from a 1,000 foot view or whatever the case may be, focusing in on some of these rumors and stuff that are out there. So we will get to that after this brief introduction. Right back. Swoosh, swoosh. Hey, I'm Black Dragon, and I'd like to thank you once again for tuning in to Black Dragon Biker TV. This is the Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker news you can trust. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. Listen, man, listen. Uh, man, a field, a field news day. Um, for us. So we're going to get right into it. First of all, let me bring the chats up. Thank you. You guys can come in the comment. Listen, we do biker news 7 days a week. If this is the kind of information that you like, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We would absolutely appreciate that. You can support the channel through the super chat or through our $ biker prez cash app, PREZ. Now, first of all, before we get into the main story, we'll go over here. If you guys could bring up that screen for me, I'd appreciate it. We're going to go over here to bikerliberty.com, my online news magazine, and we're going to check this story out. You guys remember the young biker, one percenter named Jersey, former Pagan, Daniel Hubin. You may have seen him recently on Hollywood's channel, where him and Marcos, new guy into the business now, into the biker news business by the name of Marcos from Marcos Motorcycle Nation. He's doing pretty good over there. They interviewed Jersey together, and Jersey got into a fight with Hollywood. Y'all been watching Hollywood long enough. You know how Hollywood can do. But then right after that argument, there was this big thing in the paper or that was released, and we identified it as something that was AI generated, and it was released about Hollywood and Marcos being one percenters and belonging to the same club. So that came out. A lot of people did not know Hollywood was a one percenter. Those folks that needed to know did know, but it was not something he ever came out openly with. He never ever really wanted to put Hollywood one percenter down on his show for people to understand that he was trying to do biker news, not trying to capitalize after being in a 1% nation. A lot of people blamed this guy Jersey for doing that, although I'd seen um, no evidence of such. But they blamed him as doing it because Hollywood got outed right after he and Hollywood had argued on his show. Well, that guy is now young man, former Pagans, came up dead on May 19th, a few days ago, in a motorcycle wreck. Former Pagan, that should be an apostrophe S. Former, is that how they spell it, apostrophe S? That's not right. It should be like an apostrophe S or an S after the apostrophe. I forget how it goes, but I need to look that up. But anyway, former Pagans member named Jersey, name is Daniel Hubin, loses his life in a motorcycle wreck. Richmond, Virginia, May 2023, the Richmond Police Department responded to the scene of a motorcycle accident that took place on Friday morning that claimed one person's life at around 6:30 a.m. on May 19th. 6:30 in the morning. The police and firefighters were notified that a crash occurred on, I believe it was Hull Street Road. Reports from authorities say that a motorcyclist was involved in a collision with another vehicle on the 5500 block of the roadway near Linwood Avenue. The motorcyclist identified as 35, just a young kid, 35-year-old Daniel Hubin, who was pronounced dead on the scene of his injuries. He was unresponsive when they arrived, and they couldn't get him awake. They pronounced him dead there, so it had to be pretty bad. Daniel Hubin was a former member of the Pagans Motorcycle Club that posted many controversial videos on TikTok and other social media platforms that did not always show his former club in a positive light. He later became a member of the Dirty Ones Motorcycle Club and was recently featured on an edition of Insane Throttle Biker News, where he was interviewed by Hollywood and Marcos of Marcos Motorcycle Nation and Hollywood of Insane Throttle Biker News. He and Hollywood, as they did argued, as they did not see eye to eye on some of its subjects. Rumors surfaced shortly after that Jersey was kicked out of the Dirty Ones as punishment for doing that news interview, doing it as a 1%er. But we here at Biker Liberty were not able to confirm those rumors were ever true. We send condolences to his friends and club brothers, former club brothers who still loved him, and family members. The person stayed on the scene of the accident, so it wasn't like some kind of hit or something. But there, that we can tell. But there's definitely a lot of controversy surrounding that young man. Very short life, very fiery kind of image. There were a couple of TikToks that you guys might remember. There's one that he did.
Because you got to remember, when you wear a support shirt, you're welcoming in this shit. And that's the problem. People don't realize that. When you buy a support shirt, you put support 415, support 16, support 81, you're going to have a problem. So you got to accept what comes with that. A lot of people put them support shirts on like we do our vest. We wear it with a badge of honor. And then when they get the repercussions to it, the bad guys are the motorcycle people. No, motherfucker. You knew what it was when you put that shirt on. And this is the problem. This is the problem. These are the things that's not being told to people. So when you have people running around wearing support shirt, yeah, it looks good. It does. It looks good. I love it. I love the fact that civilians are wearing support shirts. But did you break down that somebody might come rip that shirt off your back and beat it off your body?
Support gear. So that was one that he did. Here was another one that he did.
There was footage of this of a Pagan taking his cut off and ripping it up and throwing it on the ground and stomping it, which is obviously one of the worst things you can possibly do to your own colors. And I know you've talked to him.
It's not. It's not the worst thing you could do to your own colors. The worst thing you could do to your own colors is losing.
So yeah, that young man's gone now. Died a couple days ago in a motorcycle accident. Which is something that, man, when we ride these things, I guess we know that when we ride these things, I guess we know that um, you can go out on them. You know, you can lose half of a thumb on them. These things happen. So unfortunately, he is gone now. 35, young kid, and but he lived his life in the fashion that he wanted. He was a one percenter. He was in a couple of one percenter clubs, and he did the thing. So he's gone, unfortunately. All right, and then Hollywood said today, it's really weird. Even though I argued with the guy, it's not something you'd wish on somebody. You wouldn't want somebody. That has to be absolutely weird when the last words you have with somebody are negative, and then they die a couple days later. Which is why we should always try to kill any beefs. Life's not promised. Try to treat people with respect. Try to treat people like individual pieces of solid gold, in as much as we can. So anyway, young man, young life. Now. We wish him the best. Hopefully he's riding in biker heaven somewhere, and we move forward. All right, now for the next story. And this one has been all over my inbox. People are hitting me with this over and over and over and over again. So I'm just going to put it up here, and we'll discuss it. And what.org, AugustaCrimeStoppers.org. If you go to the internet and you type in Augusta Crime, if I know how to spell it, org. If you put that in on the internet, there is no AugustaCrimeStoppers.org that I have been able to find as a website somewhere. So maybe it's just a Facebook page. It's been around as far as I can tell, since about 2011. So, oh Lord Jesus Christ, what the hell just popped up on my screen? Anyway, this thing here is a story that they wrote, and all I can say is this is the story that they wrote. So let me take the comments down for a second. Boom. All right. Reference. Outcast Motorcycle Club apparently ambushes second MC club within about a year. Tips have come in filling in the facts surrounding this weekend's apparent ambush of motorcyclists trying to get Bobby Jones to go home, trying to get to Bobby Jones, I guess that must be a street, to go home after visiting May Park for a family event. When one of their MCs, I guess he might be trying to say motorcycles, when one of their MCs caught fire, or maybe he's trying to say when one of their motorcycles caught fire. Tipsters and eyewitnesses either saw or heard at least one high-capacity weapon open fire, first from the Outcast Motorcycle Clubhouse. Over 100 rounds came from the Outcast Clubhouse area, killing 2 and wounding others as the visiting motorcycle club scrambled to cover, with at least one of the visitors returning to defensive fire with a small caliber, low capacity, he says captivity, but I mean, he means low capacity pistol, after 2 of them were shot dead by the Outcast. Apparently, until these tips came in from eyewitnesses at the scene, Outcast was able to establish a narrative that the MC they apparently ambushed was confused with the Soul Riders MC, which Outcast apparently ambushed earlier in Florida. The narrative that Outcast Motorcycle Club was able to establish is that the visiting motorcycle club was a hit squad here to exact revenge for the Outcast ambush in Florida. But the motorcycle club that was ambushed by Outcast in Florida was the Wheels of Soul Club, not visiting the club. The visiting club had their women with them, which would not have been done if they were here as a hit squad. This is still a fluid case. More information is being called in from around the country. Stay tuned for updates as more tips come in regarding apparently the Outcast ambushing more motorcyclists. So this is just an I don't know. Let's just take a look at it. First of all, there's no such thing as crimestoppers.org. As anything more than this Facebook page that I have been able to find. Now, maybe you guys have seen something else. So let's just take this part here. Wheels of Soul has been brought into this now, but the motorcycle club that was ambushed was Wheels of Soul. I've been contacted by the Wheels of Soul after this little article came out, and the first thing they said, and this was a credible source, someone that some folks I know very well for many years have said Wheels of Soul Motorcycle Club has absolutely not one thing, nothing to do with this. Okay, so that's the first part. Second part here, I don't know what motorcycle club this is. I tried to find it on the internet. I found a couple Christian motorcycle clubs. So I don't know who this is that they were supposed to have confused them with. But I can tell you this. Saying that, so the narrative is that some kind of way Outcast Motorcycle Club confused the Thug Riders Motorcycle Club with another motorcycle club and therefore attacked them and ambushed them. But I don't know. That I find that easy to believe if these clubs were not on the motorcycle scene. Like it would be easy for a fireman to mistake this motorcycle club with that motorcycle club. But if you're in the motorcycle world, especially as a one percenter, you're not going to mistake the Wheels of Soul for the Thug Riders. You're not going to mistake that, like the Soul Riders for the Thug Riders. You're not going to do that. Like, there are people who read graffiti. I can't read graffiti. I'm riding down the road and I see something that says, this is the territory of the such and suches. Don't stop your car here. Don't get off your motorcycle. I wouldn't know that from the Man on the Moon. I'd be like, wow, that's such a beautiful graffiti drawing there. People who read graffiti would be like, bro, get back on your motorcycle. It's the same thing with colors and motorcycle clubs and stuff like that. You don't you don't mistake. So there's Hell's Lovers wear a cross, Outcast wear a cross, Black Sabbath wears a cross, Chosen Few wears a cross. We're all motorcycles that operate on the black motorcycle set. We all have crosses. Like nobody would mistake Black Sabbath's cross for Chosen Few's cross. That's in the motorcycle community. Now, somebody that's not in the motorcycle community would be like, oh, yeah, man, the guy had a cross on his back. It could be any one of us. But that's not something that I would say happen like that. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Does it? Okay, let's go to the next point here. Next point is they said here that tipsters and eyewitnesses either saw or heard at least one high capacity weapon open up first from the Outcast Motorcycle Clubhouse. So that's not what the sheriff said. If we're just looking at this based on what the sheriff said he heard the gunfire, but he didn't state one way or the other that who fired first or any of that kind of stuff. So it doesn't seem to me that you could tell where something like that came from across the street or whatever the case may be. I don't know how you could say that. He says, then it says over 100 rounds came from the Outcast Clubhouse area. And what the sheriff said was we found over 150 rounds on the scene. This would be saying to indicate that over 100 rounds came from that high capacity weapon, and the sheriff didn't say that either. So just looking at that. So somebody says my information's wrong. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't. I'm just reading here what this said. And so if you know what you're talking about, give me a call. You don't have to blow up my stuff. You can call me and tell me what you're talking about. You know more? Speak up. I'm just saying it's really kind of hard to tell. It's really kind of hard to mistake one motorcycle club for another. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, moving on. And I'm saying what the news reports say. I'm saying what the sheriff said. I heard what the sheriff said. Didn't you hear what the sheriff said? The sheriff said that we have actionable intelligence that they got from cell phones and other places that they know why this started and who it started from. That's what they said. The sheriff said that it was. Black Dragon didn't say. The sheriff said. The sheriff said it was a retaliatory hit for something that happened down in Florida. He didn't say what clubs were involved. He didn't say any of this that's here on this thing. So we're looking at it. We're looking at what was said, and we're trying to look at it with credibility. Where does this come from? It's not in any source. It's not in any newspaper, and it's not in any place. Yeah, this is Black Dragon. Hey, what's up? I got you. You want to come on the show? Do you want to come on the show? Okay. Oh, no, I'm not saying that happened. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. No, I'm looking at that information. I'm looking at what this said, and what I'm saying is this doesn't make a lot of sense to me, what I'm reading. Yeah. But we're looking at it and examining it because people keep putting it out there, and so we want to look at it. Does it make any sense? Okay, so just yeah. Oh, I absolutely I agree with that. I agree with that. Okay, so I got you. I got you. I'll call you back after this. I'll call you back. I know you're not. I know. I know. No problem. I'll call you right back. All right. We'll talk about that. I'll call you right back. So, yeah. So, yeah, when we talk about these issues, people get inflamed. I ask that you listen to what I'm saying before you jump down my throat. That's not going to always happen. But as you guys can see, I will take the phone calls right here. I'm not running. I'm not scared. I will take the phone calls and we will discuss it. And as long as someone is like this person was and respectful and everything and we can talk, I'm fine with that. So the idea that how can Outcast ambush these guys when these guys came to their clubhouse? Well, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at this thing here in its entirety to say, where is this thing coming from? Who put it out? Who says this? So, yeah, we're looking at it. You guys know I'm going to look at both sides. That's the way I do it. I'm going to look at both sides. And the first thing when this came out, the first call I got, Wheels of Soul said, "Hey, Dragon, let it be known we are not involved in this whatsoever. This piece that was put out. We're not involved with this. We have nothing to do with this." And I can dig that. Then the next thing is, so where does it come from? What does it look like? If you're trying to say that this club was mistaken for another club and therefore ambushed, I'm saying that's really hard to see if you're in the motorcycle club world. You know whose colors what colors are. That's what I'm saying. Then I'm saying that the sheriff, Roundtree, Shaft, the sheriff, Richard Roundtree, said, "We know why this occurred. This occurred as a retaliatory strike for something that happened in Florida." And that's all he said. Now, this thing here also says that the Outcasts were able to establish a narrative that the MC apparently, that they ambushed, was confused with. But when you say the Outcast was able to establish a narrative, I didn't see any interviews with the Outcast. The sheriff said no one is cooperating. The sheriff said that. He said no one's cooperating. So that would mean the Outcast haven't spoken. And if the Outcast haven't spoken, then how did they establish the narrative? The narrative I heard established was established by the newspapers and by the sheriff. The sheriff and the newspapers established the narrative. The Outcast hasn't spoken. The sheriff said nobody is cooperating. Nobody's cooperating, so we arrested all these people. So if nobody's cooperating, how did one side or the other establish the narrative? That's what I'm asking. You can't say the Outcast established the narrative. They never spoke. So, and I don't want to get it twisted like Black Dragon is sticking up for one side or the other. I know people in every one of these damn clubs, every single solitary one. I've been in all these clubhouses. I know the leaders of all of them. And I hate to see what's going on, as I know it will eventually destroy our way of life. And biker news is always difficult to do, because whenever you're talking about one club or the other, somebody gets pissed off. But we just try to look at the facts as they are. This is a piece that came out, and it's all over the place. People keep hitting me with it in my inbox. So I said, well, okay, well, let's just take a look at it. First, who's AugustaCrimeStoppers.org? Maybe that's just a name, but I wasn't able to find a website. So I was already looking at it with a jaundiced eye. But this page has been up since 2011, so maybe this is just the name of their page. I saw this thing that said to support them, but it doesn't really say how you can support them. So then they start talking about apparently an ambush, a second motorcycle club. This is the second ambush of another motorcycle club within about a year. And they're talking about all this stuff. And they're talking, okay, these guys were trying to get to Bobby Jones after visiting May Park for a family event when one of their motorcycles caught on fire. The sheriff didn't say any of that. That's not in a newspaper that I've seen yet. If that comes out later, that'll come out later. But I haven't seen that. Hey, the sheriff just did or the newspaper just did an interview today. Here's another newspaper interview that was just done today. The victim, one of the guys who was shot, one of his friends said it was senseless. Here's a picture of a brother that's no longer with us, Jermaine Farrell, 51 years old, of Daytona Beach. In this story, it says 2 men were fatally shot during a mass shooting in Augusta over the weekend, and a friend to one of them is speaking about how he lost his life, speaking out about it. Are you serious? How? What happened? A surprised Kelly Miller Hall, the ex-girlfriend of Jermaine Farrell, asked in a message to the Chronicle following his death. Richmond County Sheriff Richard Roundtree, here we go, said the alleged retaliation shooting Saturday afternoon involved 2 motorcycle gangs, the Outcast Motorcycle Club based in Augusta, and an out-of-town motorcycle club called the Thug Riders. He said the retaliation, now this is what the sheriff said. This ain't what Black Dragon said. This is what the Augusta Chronicle said that the sheriff said. That he said the retaliation was in response to a previous incident between the groups in Florida. The sheriff didn't say anything about another motorcycle club coming. He didn't say anything about any of those things that were mentioned in this other article. He said it was a retaliation in response to the previous incident between those groups that happened in Florida. Now, the sheriff didn't say people were mistaken identity. He didn't say after a motorcycle caught on fire. He didn't say, so I wasn't there. The sheriff was on the scene. He collected evidence. This is what he's putting out. Now, I'm not saying that they haven't put out bad information before. I'm saying this right here looks to me like they know a little bit about what they're talking about. Anyway, that's what he said. It happened between those groups in Florida. Keith Coates, 30, a young man, military sniper. He had 4 or 5 tours of duty in the war. I would imagine either Afghanistan or Iraq, or maybe both. From Valdosta, Georgia, he died, and this young man, I say young, 51 is young to me. Mr. Farrell, 51 of Daytona Beach, he died, and 4 others were injured during the shooting near Old Town at Sandbar Ferry Road at East Boundary Street, reportedly the headquarters of the Outcast Motorcycle Club. More than 100 empty shell casings were found on site. It doesn't say here which side they belonged to. It just says 100 shell casings were found on site. According to who? Richard Roundtree, the sheriff. Targeted attack, it says. Oh, that's a different story. But this deadly downtown Augusta shooting was a targeted attack. According to who? Sheriff Richard Roundtree. According to the sheriff, it was a targeted attack. The friend Hall hadn't heard about the shootout, out-of-town shooting, until media requests came rolling into her. She said that Farrell was trying to make a better life for himself. So senseless, she said. He's from St. Louis area. He has always been hardworking, starting many businesses over the years, seemingly trying to make legitimate money and a legitimate life for himself, always grinding. Farrell even wrote his own book, according to his Facebook posts. The book, titled The IRS is Not the Big Bad Wolf, was published in 2017 and is available on Amazon. And, maybe if you wanted to help his family out or something, you might go buy that book. The IRS is Not the Big Bad Wolf. Here it is, right here on Amazon. There it is, $9.99. So he wrote that book, this young man. So he was trying to do some good things with himself, as the article says. While Farrell was fairly active on Facebook, sharing posts about the motorcycle club and his hobbies, Coates, the other man who died, lacks an online presence. It appears Coates does not have Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter accounts, and family and friends have not taken to social media to share anything about the shooting. The sheriff on Monday confirmed unofficial reports of a first responder hitting the body of Coates or Farrell with his vehicle. They never said which one. Roundtree said fire personnel was clearing the area. Sheriff Roundtree said fire personnel were clearing the area so emergency vehicles could get in, and he did not see the body and struck it. This is just a horrible tragedy all the way around. The incident was documented as a traffic incident. The sheriff's office said Monday afternoon that it will not release the incident report. The Augusta Fire Department told reporters it would send out a press release, but then didn't. Declined later on Monday to provide an incident report, the name of the employee who ran over the body, or the name of the person who was run over. But we did get that name. Not the person that was run over. We haven't put that out because they haven't put that out. But we did find the name of the fire official, and unfortunately, one of the places put the man's picture, not just a picture, but the man's oh my goodness, mugshot. The sheriff, not the sheriff, but the mugshot of the fire department guy. They put his mugshot up. Like, that was really ugly. So a lot of people are mad at him as well, screaming if it was somebody else that. But he didn't run or anything. He was there to help. So I don't know. So when I look at this article here, it makes me really want to dig into it because it is completely not what any official is talking about. It's not what any paper has said. It's not what any documents have said so far. It seems really like a very targeted attack piece, but it's completely out there and people are talking about it. From the Outcast, they say, how could we ambush a club that came to our clubhouse? That'd be kind of hard to ambush is normally. You don't normally ambush someone that comes to attack you. The sheriff said they came to attack them, and I guess we'll find out more as time goes on. But Will the Soul said they definitely didn't mistake them for us. And I don't know who the Soul Riders MC are. I've tried to find. All I found was like a Christian club. I wouldn't think that anyone would attack a Christian club. Does that happen? Do people attack them? I mean, I imagine it probably has, but and then I found a Soul Riders MC in South Africa. I don't imagine they attacked them in Florida. I don't know, maybe if you were visiting. I don't know. So looking this thing over, I tell you. And then it says, this is still a fluid case. I like this. This is still a fluid case with more information being called in from around the country. Stay tuned for updates and more tips in regarding apparently an outcast ambushing of more motorcyclists. Sounds like somebody doesn't like the Outcast too well. Stay tuned for updates as more tips come in from around the country. More tips come in from a bunch of people who weren't there. From around the country. Are we going to get calls from New York with tips? South Florida is going to have some tips. Maybe we'll get a call from California and Newfoundland. Tips are coming in from around the country. Damn, they got a big network. Well, I got tips from around the country too. But I also have the sheriff that was there. I don't just have them. You guys have them. And I mean, just in the article that was written. When was this article written? Yesterday? Today? Let me see. This article was written May 16th. And I'm looking every day to see if there's been more updates. So, somebody called it hate bait, Black Dragon. Thank you, producer. 6 days ago. This was done 6 days ago. This article here, 6 days ago. And, you know, here's the sheriff speaking on it over and over again. And until he changes his tune, unfortunately, this is the official result. This is what they're going to be basing their charges on. In case you don't know. This will be the district attorney's going to go
to that incident.
Did you hear that?
In Florida. involving the Outcast and the Thug Riders came to Augusta in retaliation to that incident.
That's what he said. That's what he said. He didn't say none of this other stuff. So I will call the good sheriff. I'll ask him. I'll call the good sheriff. I don't know if he'll talk to me. Well, why would he want to talk to Black Dragon Biker News Network? I'll say, Sheriff, have you heard anything about this? This goes counter to everything you've said. Are you holding something back from us? Which I'm sure they're not going to reveal all the intimate details of their investigation. But when you come out with something this inflammatory, then you have to expect that somebody like me is going to look at it and say, well, okay, well, that sounds interesting. However, we have to be aware that this is counter to everything that was said. The sheriff didn't say anything about a motorcycle catching on fire. We have to look for that. The sheriff didn't say anything about. He never mentioned a high capacity weapon being used. I'm not saying there wasn't. It just wasn't mentioned that I've seen yet. He certainly didn't say that the high capacity weapon was heard by witnesses as starting first from the Outcast clubhouse. I'm not sticking up for anybody. I'm just saying what was said and what wasn't said. When you say that, I say, oh, well, the sheriff didn't say that. Am I a bad guy now? It's almost like they're trying to put fuel on the fire to get more stuff popped off. Apparently, until these tips came in from eyewitnesses at the scene, Outcast was able to establish a narrative. But that's not true. If the sheriff said nobody's cooperating, and just go look at my other videos, the sheriff said nobody's cooperating, so we arrested everybody. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, but he said we arrested these people. Nobody's cooperating. So if nobody's cooperating and nobody's talking to the police, particularly, then and nobody's cooperating, then how was any side able to establish a narrative? The narrative that was established came from Sheriff Roundtree. Maybe if this article had said, well, Sheriff Roundtree established a narrative, then he did establish that. So if the things in this article, any of them are true, it'll come to the surface. That the sheriff said, we are definitely investigating these guys. He said that. He said, we're investigating everything. We found guns at the clubhouse. We'll be adding that to the investigation. And that does happen whenever there's a shootout at your clubhouse, you can damn well better believe they'll be looking at your clubhouse to shut it down. I've lost a couple, I know. Back when I was a national president, I lost a couple clubhouses for other people that weren't even in our motorcycle club coming to our clubhouse on that BS, shooting it up and all this kind of stuff. Ain't never had nobody from my club shooting outside the clubhouse or anything else. But we've definitely had clubhouses shut down because other idiots come with their mess to our clubhouse on more than one occasion. So anyway, that's how come I can speak about a lot of these things. I've actually seen them firsthand. Anyway, that's that story, and these are the things that I think about the story that don't seem to match up with what the authorities are talking about. At the end of the day, 2 men lost their lives. 2 relatively young men lost their lives. And if we want to look at it, if you want to say they were in the wrong place at the wrong time and they were ambushed, and I bring this all back down to basic damn MC protocol, and I'll tell you young guys that don't want to listen to the old guys. Too many of you have jobs that you don't know the job description of. Too many of you got this I love me patch on your chest, and you have no idea what the hell a road captain or a sergeant at arms does. Because if they were at the wrong place by accident and got attacked, that's definitely on the sergeant at arms and the road captain. Especially if you're a 1% motorcycle club, you're supposed to know where the hell you are. Supposed to know who is where, what's in the area. This is how you guys are supposed to be operating. I know if 99% clubs do it, 1% clubs damn well should be doing it. You guys have heard these things called traveling blessings and all this kind of stuff. If some of these protocols are followed, you don't wind up in a spot that you got to shoot your ass way out of. And it goes the same for the 1% motorcycle clubs too. They got these young guys coming in that know every damn thing and vote everybody out, and now it's the blind leading the blind. A lot of this stuff is settled, prevented with basic MC protocol. MC protocol, the purpose of it is to keep alpha males from destroying each other by following rules of respect and great caution. All this Sons of Anarchy, we go where we please, we do what we want, nobody tells us what to do. I'm such and such 1%er, I'm such and such one. Nobody tells us what to do. Hey, man, y'all got protocols too. Nobody just walks into a territory and throws up a flag. If they don't want to go through hell. Yeah, you can call it an agreement. You can call it a blessing. You can call it a negotiation. You can call it an eye to eye. But when motorcycle clubs establish in new areas, they go through certain protocols. I don't give a damn who they are. Yeah, I needed that sound effect. Bet you didn't know that. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. 54 minutes. No need to talk this to death. Hey, I see you, Nitro Mike. Mikey 1%er. God bless you. Good to see you here. So, anyway, like, share, and subscribe. You can get, oh my goodness, let me go here. Yeah, okay, so my mind is kind of blank right now. Let me just throw up the tickers. Don't forget my daily online magazine, the bikerliberty.com. Make sure to check that out. Also support the channel, $Biker Prez, P-R-E-Z, or hit the super chat button. We could use the donations, $Biker Prez, P-R-E-Z, or hit the super chat. Drop us a couple dollars if you don't mind. You can recognize the truth when you hear it because the truth has a ring of familiarity to it, my mother used to say. So we just listen for what sounds familiar, even if we've never heard it before. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Black Dragon Biker TV can be found on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Order my books, Prospects Bible, Sergeant at Arms Bible, President's Bible, Public Relations Bible, and the Prospects Bible for Women's Motorcycle Clubs, all available on Amazon, Kindle, or at blackdragonsgear.com, where you can also get your autographed copy. We also want to make sure to mention the book that that Mr. Farrell wrote. The IRS is Not the Big Bad Wolf by Jermaine Farrell, with contributions by Chip Bell. That's available on Amazon. Maybe that maybe buying that book might help you. When it comes to that, I'd like to know more about the IRS. They're not very nice. Join our podcast, the daily podcast, The Dragon's Lair Motorcycle Chaos, wherever you get your podcast. And please join us on Discord. We have a Discord server, and you can go on there and talk to me sometimes and face-to-face and all that kind of stuff. Link to the Discord server is in the description box below. And you can reach me at blackdragon at blacksabbathmc.com, and you can damn sure call me right here in the studio. As you guys know, I don't have a problem with you calling me. Just try not to call me any bad names. That hurts my feelings. But call. One call, that's all. No, actually, you can call as many times as you want. And if you ever want to come on the show, if you're so mad at me and you want to come on the show, I will put you on the show. Now, I understand if you're a 1%er and stuff like that, you can't particularly come on the show. But I will absolutely listen to what you got to say because we want to be fair. People call me because I'm fair, I hope. That I've proven that I'm going to be fair. And I think that's all anybody can ask, right? All right. That's enough of that. Let me take all that off. Take that off. All right. We're done here. Thank you guys for tuning in. And my my producers are telling me don't forget the book giveaway. So I'm giving away the Audible version of Prospects Bible to the first person that sends me an email that can tell me when the Thug Riders Motorcycle Club was established and when the Outcast Motorcycle Club was established. First email, first 5 emails I get that tell me that, I will send you guys each a book. It'll be an Audible book on Audible. So the first person that can tell me, the first 5 emails I get that tell me when the Thug Riders were established and when the Outcast Motorcycle Club was established, will get a free Prospects Bible via Audible. All right. So thanks, producer, for letting me know that one. That's it. That's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below. I'm Black Dragon. Thanks for tuning in. And get skinny. Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught too often in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book.
Get Black Dragon's first book, The Prospect's Bible, to learn how to join a motorcycle club. It has been an Amazon #1 bestseller for the past 7 years and is required reading for over 3,000 motorcycle clubs worldwide. This book is a must-have for new people venturing onto the motorcycle club set. It will teach you how to prepare yourself for service to the motorcycle club nation and show you how to qualify a motorcycle club to be worthy of your service. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and for order at your local bookstore. Get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club prospect you can be. Get the book.
Let's do yours. Let's do yours. How about you? Yeah, how about you first?